Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. So, I'm gonna have an interesting podcast today. Number one, before I start, I like to give a huge shout out. A huge shout out to Mr. Lucas Van Hollen for interviewing me for the heroclix Hall of Fame. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that Howard considered me for the Hall of Fame and pretty much for the work that I've done with the community. And it feels good. I am the OG strategist, meta podcaster. I won't claim to be the best show anymore. I could just claim to be one of the early shows. So again, I really appreciate. It's like I'm not doing this on camera for a reason. I really appreciate the fact that I was considered, nominated, and elected for this. So, yeah. Scott was talking about us getting fancy rings and stuff like that. I don't know about all that, but yeah. So here's some more years of me raging about heroclix. Also, shout out to my boys Steve and Tony. They perform well at the Majestics Winter 1K. I'm proud of them. They showed up and they performed well. And the thing that I always look at from a coaching perspective is it's easy to get into two different slumps. Slump number one is I'm content for being here, and the number two slump is it's first place or nothing. And I think a good competitive edge is when you say, all right, I push for first, no matter what. And if first doesn't come, I do not destroy myself, but I continue to strive. And that's one of the key things that I respect in Tony and Steve is that the continuation to go forward and strive to be better players and to be considered, one of the best players for their format. So definitely when it comes down to Majestic's age, they know a ton of stuff that I don't. They have a great amount of insight, and I appreciate what they give to the game. So let's get started. I'm going to call this the best of times in the worst of times. In terms of us looking at this Justice League set so far. And there's a lot of implications that I look at this set and I'm like, this is great. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's nasty. That's like eating 3-day old fish that's been out. I'm like tongue tied how frustrated I am. And the problem that I have is when I look at what they're trying to do, how they implemented it, I see problems. And I see a lot of things that really did not need to be in a booster set, but needed to be measured out differently. So let's get into it. So first off, we all know that this set is upcoming and it's the new hotness. We got the Scott Porter previews. Shout outs to Scott Porter. I know I'll probably never get him on the show, but shout outs to Scott Porter. All right. If we look at what Justice League is doing from a game design standpoint, there's something clear. And that thing that is crystal clear to me, this was designed around the same time as Batman the Animated Series. Now, some of you might say, Dark Logos, how do you know this? And what is your thought process for that? Well, it's real simple. I'm betting, excuse me, I'm betting that the moment that they got the Batman animated TV show license, what they actually got was DC animated. Okay? This is what I'm betting. Because also, I'm betting in maybe 2 to 3 years, those one-shots, those straight-to-DVD movies that they put out, we might be getting clicks designs of those. Okay? Because DC's all about making that money, baby. Because, you know, this new reset of their universe just got fans all tingly in the pants, you know? Right. So, anyway, when we're looking at the designs, it's quite clear that when you look at these figures, this isn't the stuff that they put their A game into. They introduced a mechanic to compensate for time. Okay? So, in terms of artificially making diversity and giving you more quote-unquote value for your buck, they have your alternative team-up cards, super team-up cards, which in all honesty is not a bad idea. The implementation of it is horrible, and WizKids, I know you're probably not listening to this, but please listen to me when I say the team-up cards is a half an idea. It's a half an idea. So let's go in and dig a little deeper. So first off is you have team-up mechanics for low rarity figures and high rarity figures. And if the only way, so far it seems from Scott Porter's thing, that I'm going to get a team-up card is to have that rarity appear, I have to sort of roll the dice multiple times that I might be able to get that second card at higher rarity that I need to make the team that I actually want to make, which ends up making team-up cards functionally counterintuitive for multiple reasons. Reason number one, okay, why do I need multiple cards? Why can't I just have one card? Why can't I just have, you know, the little book shell cards? It's real easy, and you just have one side, all the bonuses, in, you know, sentences, all your team ups. Maybe, you know, the other side, you know, the first two sides, all your team ups. Your second side, your powers. The third side, you have your dial on back. Real simple. Picture of the figure, picture of the comic book, whatever it may be. All right. So automatically right there, WizKids, using what you already have in design, I have functionally fixed your mistake. All right. So some people might say, Edward, why is this a mistake? Because, sirs and madam, because that's what my analytics say. It's like there's probably like 2 chicks watching. So you mademoiselles, Els. There you go. So functionally, why am I collecting additional cards? Why am I collecting, buying more product for something that I technically already have that has less value than an ID to play a team that you have excessively put restrictions on? So that's really fault number 3. Fault number 1, this is designed with Batman Animated Series, so it's not popping fresh the way it should be. Number 2, the team up shouldn't be on multiple cards. Okay? So when we get into this, and this is if we're just saying it's frustrating, is that you're trying to add value. And when I look at an ID card and you're talking about adding value to a booster, I'm like, okay, I can use this. I can do these several different things with it. Okay, I can play it in the sealed. I can try to win it for the Battle Royale. I can trade it. I can play it in my standard events. When it retires, I can play it in my Golden Age events. Okay, when you're talking about an additional card, what good does it? What good is it 3, 4, 5 years from now when you know this version of this character is going to be obsolete? What good does it do me? All right, I can have some nostalgia fun. Okay, that's a reality. I can have nostalgia fun, but we all know that functionally, when we're looking at this, we're not going to be playing this version of Superman, this version of Wonder Woman, hell, this version of Batman. 3 years from now, we're not. We're going to be on the newest version of each of those characters, if those characters are any good. It's been like that for years. For years. So, what really changes now? Why are you inflating my storage with 18 different cards that I need to have? So, I go into higher rarity. How many more boosters? Let's just say I really like Hawk Girl because I believe she's meta at 40 points. I really like Hawk Girl. I need that one team up that she has, hypothetically, with Martian Manhunter. Okay? What happens if I don't hit the first time? How many times are you going to make me roll to hit? And if it's quite clear that, let's just say, PJ, the man with the beard, green Power Ranger. Yes, I have a picture of that. I'm not going to show it unless he approves. He looks cool. Bolin decides to run a team up, and that team up specifically is a hard to get team up. What happens to the state of the game? Okay, all of a sudden the card is going for $20 on eBay. Not a figure, just the card. Okay? Now, that's something to think about. Now, a guy like me, I'm on a pretty big team. I have people memeing my team saying how huge it is right now. So, a guy like me is not hurting that bad. Because at worst, I'm looking at maybe 2, at most 3 teammates trying to run that Hawk Girl Martian Manhunter team up, or that Hawk Girl elusive Batman team up that gives her the specific bonus that she needs, or the Hawk Girl Dr. Fate team up so she has mystics because of some stupid thing that I'm trying to do, and it gives Dr. Fate the ability to make all his clones or whatever not count against the team up ability thing. Whatever it may be. Okay? Now, when we're looking at that, that's a collaboration of resources. The average player is not going to have that collaboration of resources. Okay? Like, let's be realistic, whiz kids. You got fancy. You're like my 8th graders. They'll be like, Mr. Shelton, I'll dunk on you. And they'll take their piece of paper, do fake basketball moves as they try to push me to the side and throw the paper, pretend to slam dunk in the trash can. But just like my kids, you miss. Okay? The piece of paper bounces off the edge of the trash can to land in their face and then on the floor. I've seen that multiple times. 8th graders and 7th graders are not the most coordinated individuals. Okay, but here's the thing. We're dealing with grown people. Okay, we're dealing with grown people. And you're trying to get me to feel the same way I felt about ID cards with what should be standard for the game. Additional game mechanics with what should just basically come with the character. Okay? It's sort of like you selling me a car and then being like, nah, dog, tires are extra. It was like, hold on, wait. Tires come with the car. Nah, dog. You'll get the rims. Tires are extra. Yep, that's pretty much what you're saying. Okay. So when we look a little bit deeper, will this increase sales? Yes and no. Battle royales are probably going to be through the roof, and if you're sort of like some of the venues that I go to, where you pay a fee to play, all those extra cards that are going to be there, people are going to be trying to pick them up and stuff. So there'll be bonuses to continue playing with this set for a while. Now, what does that do to the average figure in the set? I'll tell you what it does. It plummets their value. I've seen this multiple times in the heroclix stock market. The first time in the heroclix stock market I've seen this, when everybody said the game was going to die, was the first set with cards with the Avengers and Justice League sets. We had Coming of Galactus for 3 or 4 months, and it was all sealed. And we had Coming of Starro for 3 to 4 months, or we were constantly playing sealed. And the market was flooded full of product that no one wanted. All your high rarity figures were like $5. We saw this, War of Light. Pretty much every organized OP 2 months out. We saw it that was an organized OP too with the Civil War set. And we saw it with Secret Wars Battle World, because it happened around Worlds. There was so much of that crap pulled. Between Worlds and Rocktober, and it was just so much of it on the market that everything was dirt cheap. You're getting super rares for $5, man. I bought multiple super rares for friends for $5. I still remember buying like a Witch Queen LaFay, the Dino Thor, and something else for somebody. Do you know how fun it is to troll your friends with 3 Dino Thors? It is great. You just roll up on a figure and just be like, -3 stats. Sucks to suck. Yeah, that was fun. That was definitely fun. Anyway, minus my trolling of my good friends in Kansas City. We've seen collapses in the market. This is a collapse the market set. People want their team up. They're going to spend a bunch of money trying to get a stupid card to play the one version of Justice League with the exact team up, with the exact figure for the exact effects or the best effects possible. And they're going to pay for it. Now, I understand, WizKids, your price went up, so you're trying to do something to justify the cost of booster. Okay? And there's other things that you could have done not to increase to increase the value of your boosters, other than give us cards that we should get for free. And that should just come with the character inherently. Okay? So there's a couple of solutions of how they can still fix this mistake and move the game forward and how they need to proceed in the future. All right. So, number one, do I understand what they're trying to do by functionally giving, or even better yet, experimenting with the fact that there's a multitude of ways that a figure can be played on the board? Do I give them credit for that? Yes, I thought of this idea over 10 years ago. Really, it's like 12 now, because I was bringing it up on the old WizKids forums. Okay? Actually, I thought of character cards before character cards existed. Which, I don't know if that makes me like the Rain Man of heroclix, or is it just that obvious of an idea? I don't know. I'll just say that I'm the super smart man of heroclix. Okay, so going back. Um, when we look at how this can be fixed, easily going forward from an experimental standpoint, you're going to look to see if people are actually using the mechanics. If there are only 2 or 3 team ups that you're seeing in competitive play, or people are only ranting and raving saying these team ups are broke, I'm sorry, you wasted a lot of R&D time not knowing what your player base wants and needs. Okay, so you messed up. You know, what is it? You messed up, Aaron. So automatically right there was a problem. Second, you need to just introduce a pack. Okay, give me like Hawk Girl pack, Martian Manhunter pack, Batman pack, all these little packs for $2. Okay, I can collect all the Justice League extra cards, not their standard card, the extra cards for $2 a pack, and I get all of the cards. Okay, I get all the cards, WizKids. If you don't want to do something simple as give me a book. Okay, you really want to nickel and dime me, sell me a pack of cards. And truth be told, I don't have a problem with this because this actually allows you to expand your game and increase the diversity and quality of your game. Oh my gosh, who would have thought? For example, you released the ultra super not so well received Super Duper Man because, again, he's my character. Copyright, trademark, starting over podcast, Super Duper Man. Mine. All right. You've licensed Super Duper Man from me. He's a big, tall, 7 feet tall guy in a cape, in a mask, and you can't see his face or nationality. So you don't know if he's a black guy or white guy, but he's freaking ripped. And he has laser beams, eyes, and he flies. There you go. Okay. So, insert generic hero here. He's anyone under the mask. All right. So, you licensed Super Duper Man for me. He's not doing too hot. You gave him Battle Fury, Flurry, Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Super Senses. You just screwed the pooch. It's so bad of a figure. Okay, great. You release. I have a trait, and the trait was I share defenses with all of the super elite of America. If they're within 3 squares, we share the highest defense. That trait made him 50 points overcosted. It sucks. We all know that trait sucks. I'm looking at you, Blue Marvel. Whoever designed Blue Marvel, I hate you. Coming back. Come back, Edward. Come back. Come back. All right. Hopefully they don't screw up Icon like that. Anyway, going on to be reasonable. You see this character isn't good. You gave it a trait. Boom. You can rewrite the trait and give it something that's actually useful of equal value. Hey, this character has special powers. We're going to rewrite what that special power does. We're going to keep the trait. We're going to rewrite the special power. You still have that same figure. Did you make a profit off of it, WizKids? Yes, and trust me, you're going to make a larger profit off of expansion cards than you are going to increase the cost of boosters. You will be able to create more figure diversity and adapt actively to your game and promote the same product and get people to buy the same freaking product. Okay, so here's an example. EarthX is no longer popping and hot, okay? And there's still some on the shelves. You pick out a couple of marquee characters. You pick a couple of commons, a couple of uncommons, a couple of rares, and 1 or 2 super rares, no chases. Okay, I'm emphatic on no chases because trying to I feel like you shouldn't try to tamper with that. You already made them broke because of the formula. Don't go any further. And pick the one you already knew was craptastic. Okay, just pick the one you knew was craptastic. Don't try to pick the one that's already good where you can only make it worse. You know, like let's take for example. Excuse me. Okay, this is great. All right, we're gonna go to Star Trek. Okay, and I look at Armis. Give Armis a better trait. Give Armis something a better defense power. Okay, he's not that great. All right, let's go into Dark Phoenix Saga. All right, give me another card for Sentinel Squad 1. It has a trait. Give me another card for that. Something that replaces Prime Directive. What like defending all mutants. If there are friendly characters with X-Men, Brotherhood, blah 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 on the map, give Sentinel Squad 1 +1 attack, +1 defense. Because people forget Sentinel Squad 1 was there to protect the X-Men after the No More Mutants thing, and they were almost extinct, and people were trying to execute the mutants. What was it? After House of M. So Sentinel Squad 1, boom, not popular. Also, side note, one of the best parts of that comic was War Machine was piloting one of the Sentinels and defending the X-Men, and there was something that was said leading into Civil War, I think, and it was sort of like he said, "This is the new black litmus test to see if you're one of those good blacks or not." I really like that line. I really like that moment in X-Men. But going back, you can easily make Sentinel Squad 1 go from, "Oh, that's okay," to, "Oh my gosh, I gotta pull a Sentinel Squad 1." You can go in and mess with, let's just say, Magneto, and give him, the G015. Give him, an enhanced card. Freaking fix Wendigo so that they're not broken as hell. Make Krakoa, great again. Maybe not. Yeah. Make Krakoa great again because he sucked. I can't say what I want to say. Okay, I know I said no super, hard, no chases, but he's a super rare. Fix him. Okay, so give me 2 or 3 options, or make a villain pack. So it's like, in this pack, I got Mojo Jojo. Sorry, not Mojo Jojo. I have Mojo. I have Green Proteus. I have Blue Proteus, and I also have Red Onslaught Alternative. Boom. Now we got something. Now we really have something. Like, imagine this. Get rid of the behind the scenes trait, and you replace it with, I'm at full power now, or standing in the sun, or now my plans are revealed. Some cool line like that. Red Onslaught only can take a maximum of 3 damage after all other game effects. Or Red Onslaught cannot be targeted by Outwit. Red Onslaught reduces penetrating damage. Red Onslaught has super senses on 4 through 6. Oh my gosh! How much more powerful or useful is Red Onslaught? So functionally, by having the cards and selling the cards 2 months, or let's just say 3 or 4 months after a set, to get people reinterested in a set, you're able to constantly keep your meta fresh. It's quicker turnaround on cards. So if you're like, "Yo man, we're seeing too many problems with Vulture," okay, and let's just admit it, we done effed up with Masters of Evil. Let's go over to Captain America and the Avengers. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find Baron Zemo. Okay, so let's get Mr. Gluehead himself, Baron Zemo. Okay, because that one is the worst one, and we're going to make some cards for rare Baron Zemo with his adhesive X spread across the city and on the heroes. Okay, so we'll keep the symbol Masters and Bolts because that was the thing that we're going with. We're going to get rid of Captain America, my mortal foe. Okay, and what we're going to do is instead say, all the villains are under me, or they're under me or underneath my foot, something like that, something cliche like that. And you make it clear. It's like every character on the field with Masters of Evil, Sinister Syndicate, Underworld, Brotherhood, and something else that are not friendly to Baron Zemo have -2 attack and -2 damage. Okay, now 60-point Baron Zemo is he more points than a Prime? Yes. But now he has some utility because all of your Marvel villain guys, Zemo's just like, you're either with me or against me. You know, you're either a master or you're not. And they're going to suck. Or you could just have it, what was it, like Secret Wars, where the villains traded off their opponents. You could just do that. Secret Wars. If you're not for me, you're against me. Now there's concern because, okay, this figure's dominating. Now here's a counter. How popular is Zemo just by his dial alone? We're working with the game. We're not fighting the game. We're not forcing the players to play a certain style. We're patching the game live, just like how card designers can do. And if there's an overcorrection, you can easily errata the card. Let's just say in that pack of cards, there's a pack of 5 or a pack of 10. And they're $2.99. Okay? And in that pack, I have 5 Baron Zemo cards, and I have an Ultron card, some Ultron cards. So, well, maybe not Ultron because I said no chases. Let's look inside. Like we got Baron Zemo, or we could call it the Masters of Evil deck. Okay, so we can get Power Man because he sucks balls. Okay, I mean, let's be honest, he does. We can rewrite his trait to be something cool. Okay, we can get no, Skyne's good. Don't mess with her. We can get the Baron Zemo. We can get Melter because he sucks too because they done jacked up, and Radioactive Man because again they done jacked up. So let's take Radioactive Man for example because they done jacked up on Radioactive Man, which sucks. And let's just say we get rid of this crappy weakening radiation trait. Let's just shuffle that around. Okay, we're going to keep the whole, or we will also get rid of Thor, my mortal foe trait. Okay, so we're going to combine what we were functionally paying for in that bundle of crap right there, and we're going to shove it. We're just going to get rid of it. Okay, and then now what we can do is something like fully radioactive, opposing characters within 2 squares are -2 attack, 2 damage. Opposing characters within 4 squares are -1 attack, -1 damage. Opposing characters within 8 squares are -1 attack. Oh my gosh, now Radioactive Man is baller. Radioactive Man is baller. And you want to be aggressive with Radioactive Man. You want to be like, I'm going to get in your face. Let's go. Okay, now you're starting to mess with the game. Now you're starting to give players incentive for playing these characters and going deep in design. Okay, so I got a radioactive man card. It does that, and now I have like another radioactive man card that says radioactive man. I'm a master. So if radioactive man is with 3 or more masters, increase his attack by 1. If he's with 5 or more masters, increase his defense by 2. And if he is with 6 masters, increase his damage by 2. And it increases and all of these stack. Oh my gosh. I'd be like, yo, radioactive man, I have this Masters of Evil team that I really want to play. This is going to work. Because now radioactive man is swole. You know, he been hitting the gym. You know, he's like, I'm Chin-Lu. My mind is so strong, just like my muscles. You know, like he's boss. He's so boss. It's worth it. I would be like, you know what? Where'd my radioactive man go? I would play that. All right, you can go, let's go further back. Because WizKids, what's been your number one problem in this game? What's been your number one problem in this game? You haven't been able to monetize old sets. Let's just say I loved the Mighty Thor. Let's go click with the Mighty Thor. Okay. What if I got a new Loki card? Okay. That still works similar to God of Trickery or didn't? What would happen if I got a new The Leader? What would happen if I got a new Pile Driver? What would happen if I got a new Eric Masterson? What would happen if you just gave me like all the Asgardian Avengers and call it Asgardian Avenger Pack? And inside the Asgardian Adventure Pack, it's 10 cards and it's a new card for each of the Asgardian Avengers that were there in the set. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, you know, I play that. Thank you, WizKids. You considered something that I bought a long time ago. And now you're providing value for me to revisit those cards. And I have an incentive to hold on to my figures and not just sell them, because I can go back and play with these new decks. Now, these new figures, they might not be modern legal. And even then, WizKids, if you want to go back and say, you know what, I don't like the idea of creating, you know, this problem and then introducing this silver bullet and then constantly recycling these silver bullets. Let's just say we're going to release, you know, greatest hits pack. And if you have these figures, they're now modern legal for a year. So you just put the stipulation is greatest hits is legal for a year. Because why not? And you know what will happen to those greatest hit figures? People will go back and buy them. People will go buy old inventory. All that old inventory that you're trying to move, they would have an incentive to buy it, WizKids. They would have a straight up incentive to buy it. All right, so let's go back to greatest hits, Dark Logos edition. Okay. So let's go, what was that one Soul Train thing? It's like, let's go back, way back to the past. It's Soul Train. Dun-dun-dun-dun. You know, something like that. All right, cool. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at World's Finest. And some of you be like, World's Finest? Why World's Finest? Because we got freaking Shift and Focus Superman. We got Shift and Focus Batman. We got goodness here, babies. We got goodness. So let's look at this. All right, all of a sudden, I got Superman number 1. He's Shift and Focus. I got that Shift and Focus trait. So what would happen if I said, you know what? Instead, he still has Shifting Focus, but instead of his defense power being defending the helpless, Superman can use Invincible, modify defense value of adjacent friendly characters by +1. This power can't be countered. What if he has shielding the helpless? And now it says Superman can be mastermind to by any friendly character. He takes a maximum 1 damage. Oh, snap. Now, Superman he's a 90-point mastermind fodder for whoever you want. Now, some of you people are like, Dark Logos, that's not right to have a character work like that. And I would say, no, that's fine. I'm paying 90 points for him. I'm paying 90 points specifically to do that. Didn't say he couldn't be outwitted. Didn't say he couldn't be pulse wave. Didn't say he couldn't be energy explosion to get around that. Okay. Couldn't say you couldn't TK him away. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wow, that figure's useful again. And we have tons of this stuff still on the shelves. I think we can move this product. We can move old product and put out 4 or 5 sets a year. And then we could put out 8 content packs a year, and prize support becomes more valuable because now we can do more new scopes in the prize support, and we can even do a year in review pack that's $20 that has like 2 new cards for every card that came out that year, for every prize support card that came out that year, with an alternative way of playing it, play tested by the community, voted on by the community, maybe a couple that are voted on by the community. Your world champion might be able to get their hands on that. You know, your national champions might be able to give you some 2 cents on some of the ways that they would like to see the community or the direction that the game would go. You have more leeway to play with special powers and special abilities and traits than you do with hard numbers and stats. So now you have a reason just to look at every character that has a trait and every character that has a special power. You can rewrite that thing to be useful. If you said, let's go to a modern figure. Let's go to Rebirth because that's hot garbage. All right, so we go to Rebirth, and let's look at Deathstroke. Deathstroke it should not be 100 points. Okay, why is Deathstroke trash? 0-1 Deathstroke. Okay, he's 100 points for 6 clicks. He's a team player. Team player, guys. You know, that really describes Deathstroke. He's a team player. Yeah. Like, that's the antithesis of who Deathstroke is as a person. If you've read any Teen Titans, watched any Teen Titans content, the last thing, when you hear the name Slade, and you were like the original Teen Titans watcher, not this Teen Titans Go crap, but you watched original Teen Titans, and you heard the name Slade, you knew people were going to get hurt. You knew people were going to probably die. That's what Slade meant. When you saw you knew it was Deathstroke, you knew it was on and popping. That, yes, there's somebody that's behind that screen right there. You're like, preach, preacher! You know, like I'm Kirk Franklin, like he's Kirk Franklin. There we go. All right. So let's get rid of this stupid trait. Get rid of this stupid trait. And say this. Okay. All right. I'm not the hero that you think I am. When Deathstroke would KO a character, he may deal 1 penetrating damage to another opposing figure within line of fire, or put up to 2 action tokens on that character and make it optional. Boom. Deathstroke is pimp. I have a reason to play Deathstroke. Okay, I got this Hulk meta right now. What changes with the Hulk meta if I can run up with Deathstroke and be like, boom, boom, I knocked you to stop. Okay, I'm going to do a penetrating damage to one of your other friends. That's not an attack. So I killed your Colossal Retaliator because for some reason this is going off like that. And I'm giving you 2 tokens. You know what, Hulk? I'm going to give you 2 tokens. You're going to sit there. And then the rest of my team does whatever. The next turn Hulk clears. I have Endom. Boom, boom. Hulk, take 2 tokens. I'm going to keep going after the rest of your team. There's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that you can say. I am going to lock you down this entire time. And I am going to laugh because your defense values are low and you have no way to resist what I'm doing. And you know what's going to happen to Hulk? Hulk might decrease in the meta. Okay, and there'll be other things. You might say like Trick Shot appears or something like that. Okay, you have Cyborg, who again, hot garbage. I wanted him to be good. He's not good. I mean, at 75 points, at 50 points, he's okay. And even then, he doesn't offer much, and the Fast Forces is just better. I hate saying it like that. Okay, man, bam, all of a sudden, I rewrite this freaking Titans Reborn crap, and then just says Titans. If Titan in the league, if Cyborg is on a Teen Titans or a Justice League theme team, increase his attack by 1. That doesn't suck. Okay, now he's better because now I'm looking at Cyborg at 75 points. He's 12 attack. If I on my Justice League theme team and 3 damage, he would also have Psychic Blast. But let's just say I decided not to give him Psychic Blast with that trait. Let's just say I decide to change it up a bit and I give him Precision Strike. And then I modify it to say tactical, boom tube, what was it? Mother box calculation shot. Or mother box calculation. If Precision Strike, if Cyborg would miss this attack this turn, miss an attack against one of his targets, so you can still hit 1, feel free to make an attack against another single target that was not targeted this turn. So that means like, okay, I hit my 2 targets. If I hit my 2 targets, this doesn't go off. If I hit one and miss one, now I can redirect and ping another one and get another shot off. Okay, so is there a chance for me to multi-attack? Yes. Is it guaranteed? No. If I'm playing and I see playing my opponent and I see that he has this card, would it be better to make sure that Cyborg doesn't have line of fire to multiple characters? Yes. Especially no more than 2. So now we can start saying, okay, ID cards are a problem. What was a set that wasn't doing that hot? Okay, Rebirth did not do that hot. Okay, we can start putting some anti-ID tech into this pack. And we can just, call it, theme it up. And we can just say, all right, like we're talking about Teen Titans, let's just call it the Titan Pack. So inside the Titan Pack, or we could call it the New Titans. Okay, the New Titans. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click that Teen Titans keyword. So in Rebirth, we're going to go ahead and select Bumblebee. Okay, Bumblebee. Let's get rid of this Titans Reborn trait because it's craptastic, we know. All right, and you can say, if a character is placed on the map from outside the game within 6 squares of Bumblebee, lower that character's range by 2. And it'll just be like, you're annoying the backup or annoying the minion. Okay? All right, so then you can go to, where is Superboy? I thought he was a Titan. Here it is, Superboy. Okay, go to Superboy. Get rid of Super Sons, get rid of Titans Reborn, and get rid of, I'm taller than you. Okay? And you can say, or you can say Titan. Whenever a character would be placed from outside the map, if that character would attack or deal damage to a character in which Superboy has line of fire to that character, roll a d6. On a 5 or 6, that placed character cannot attack or do damage to the targeted character. So let's just say it works like shape change, but it would also work for poison. Or you would have to target Superboy instead. Okay, now you know how much that would suck? That if my opponent called in Cyclops to kill, my 150 point Black Panther, that instead, because I got a roll, they have to go and target Superboy? That would suck. That would suck a lot. Okay, so now what happens to Superboy on the market? His value goes up. And if I still want to move old product as a store owner, I can. And you're doing the stores a favor. You're doing the stores a favor. And again, like I said, WizKids, I'm not against money. If you wanted to do the thing that made sense and was economically friendly, you would have just made it so that all the team ups were going to be on the little book cards. You could have easily done that. We're not stupid. But again, you decide to be too cool for school. I do not know who told you that the implementation of this idea was a good idea. But you had the beginnings of a good idea if you curate it. Even if, and I'll say this, you have a rotating committee, okay? And you can end up, you have people that play test, and then you have somebody that's there to help give ideas to game design to make the cards. Hell, hire me. I'm cheap. Just send me a copy of that stuff, of every set in duplicate. Just send me a copy of every set in duplicate of all the prize support, and I'll be right there for you. If you told me like, hey, Dark Logos, you can't compete in any future events that are WizKids supported, but we're going to give you all this stuff, and you're going to help design cards for heroclix. I would be like, check please. Yep, there you go. I can still coach. I'm going to coach all day, all night. I'll be the freaking Phil Jackson of heroclix all day. You will see me for every trophy. I'll have freaking Mandarin ring on. Every title we have. Because right now, we're up to 2. We got PJ's Nats win, and we got a Team Worlds win. I'll be the freaking Phil Jackson of heroclix. And I'll be walking around with Mandarin rings. And then eventually, I'm going to have so many rings that I have to be like Goro for Mortal Kombat so I can have more hands for more rings, more Mandarin rings. That's all that is, okay? But yeah, WizKids, come hire me. Be like, yo, man, here's the contract. You'll help design these additional packs, and you won't do the marketing, but you'll give us some ideas of how we can sell it. Boom, you make money. You want to make some additional money? G.I. Joe weapons pack. Matrix of Leadership weapons pack for Transformer clicks. Like, I'm telling you, I can make y'all money, WizKids. Y'all just need to pay me. Just shut up and pay me. Shut up and pay the black man. Like I had from that meme. You're Dr. Doom. I'm freaking Power Man. You owe me money. Come pay me. But real talk. Is this a good thing overall of what they're trying to do? Yes. They're trying to put an influx of diversity and value into a property that's not going to see a lot of iterations versus properties that are seeing multiple iterations and multiple developments, which to DC's own regret, regretfully DC's own management is making their properties inefficient to the meta due to the licensing agreement. And so by, WizKids saying by giving a diversity of options, it gives players time to sort of sink in and marinate their thought into the set. If this was the old release schedule where we got 4 sets a year, this would be great. But we're not in that world anymore. We're in a 5-6 release sets a year, including all your little micro sets. So immediately only having one DC set a year, and if it's lackluster, if it's not receiving the cream of the crop, your best new mechanics in it with your most streamlined, super efficient dials, I'm sorry, WizKids, you done failed. Because most of this stuff will not be used, and Marvel will continue to outshine DC just continually. It'll be the land of the rising sun, except the sun will be Marvel. Okay? And I know you DC fans out there, you've been butthurt for a while, for years now. And I can't say I feel your pain, but I feel for you. Okay? And that's the best that I can say. I can feel for you. I like some Green Lantern. Haven't read a DC comic book in over 8 years. No, maybe not 8 years. When did War of Light come out? It's been a while. So anyway, War of Light, the comic book set. That's what I mean, not the comic book set. The War of Light, the set, not the comic books. Because I stopped reading when they went to that first Lantern story arc. I thought that was horrible, and I just was like, oh, this is trash. Like, I stopped. Anyway, that's it for today's show. WizKids is greedy. I knew something was wrong when they said you can't do print and play anymore. And there was no legal reason why they couldn't do print and play. And there was no reason why the cars couldn't be compliant for a print and play. But now we see why. They want to sell us cards. Okay? They want to monetize on the cards. And if that's the case, that is fine. Be honest with us about it, that you want to monetize on the cards. But also give us something for the value. And I didn't bring this up before, and this is just a last minute thought. You're going to have a really hard time justifying Fast Forces, okay, same sculpt, different card, with this multiple card thing now. So if WizKids, you're going to continue with Fast Forces, I need a different paint job and to justify the purchase, or a different sculpt, or you tweak, or their minion packs, like straight up, like here are the minions for AIM, here are the minions for Cobra, here are the minions for Hydra. You give me a pack of minions for Fast Forces, yeah, you still have me to justify it, okay, but functionally, you need to, WizKids, you're going to have to change the dials. I mean, not the dials, change the sculpts, because you done messed up Aaron. And I think that might be a future show. If y'all want to hear that show, why the new card format makes Fast Forces a problem, put a comment below. If I get 5 comments from different people saying like, yeah, do that show, that will more than likely be the next show. Oh man, it's almost 9 o'clock. I've been at this for a bit. All right, that's it. I need to, be proper. Thank you for following me. You can follow me on the Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and told me on Bureaucracy Planet number 5439, because there's that many planets, categorized and organized. There is a man that does nothing all day, but to make sure that all cards that are used by the bureaucracy are the proper height, length, and also in their proper spacing. That's just his job, because bureaucracy is unending. All right, you can follow me on Twitter. You'll find out new shows, way more faster on Twitter, because again, YouTube doesn't like YouTubers. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. Let me know if you like this episode. And like always, if you want to donate to the show, you can donate on the blog link at startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. Okay. All right. Thank you all for listening. And remember, we all have to start over.